I think the last statistic we heard is that Judy Blume has sold over 90 million copies of her books. She's written 29 books. They've been translated into over 30 languages. And her first book was published in 1969, 1968, so it's been over 50 years of, best-selling.
And beyond the numbers, I think she's had almost a singular impact on readers. Her relationship with readers is, I think, unique among living writers today. It's really extraordinary.
Judy Blume, her books are radically honest. She spoke to kids in a way they had never been spoken to before. In a way maybe their friends had talked to them, never their parents, never their teachers. And I think she made them feel understood. She made them feel seen. And that is such a gift, to give a kid that sort of respect and trust. And that's what Judy Blume gave to all of her readers.
She's kind of a magical creature. She's effervescent and warm and honest. I mean, the honesty that we feel in her books was present throughout filming. I felt like we had a really honest, open line of communication with her throughout. She's the kind of person, when you sit down with her and she talks to you, you feel like you're the only person in the world. I mean, she's an incredible listener and an amazing storyteller, too, of course.
Judy also makes you feel like you want to tell her everything about yourself, which is kind of bizarre. Like, we're both kind of introverted, but in our emails to Judy, we're like, guess when I got my period? I was a late bloomer. I got my period when I was 16. I mean, who does that to the person that they're interviewing? She inspires these really honest conversations with yourself and with your friends, and it was sort of a beautiful experience getting to know her.
I think her characters were really unique for a lot of people, for a lot of readers, including me. I had not ever seen girl protagonists portrayed in that way. I mean, we were really getting inside the head of a girl for the very first time, and that really, that kind of intimacy and immediacy really spoke to kids. So yeah, I mean, kids, not only did they write fan mail, but they poured their hearts out to her. They told her their deepest secrets. And of course, lots of authors get fan mail, but she wrote back, and in some cases kept in touch with people over decades. When we realized that pretty early on in the process, we were blown away by it, and we knew it had to be part of the story of the film.
I mean, I think it was really the election of 1980. When Ronald Reagan was elected, it sort of opened up the stage for conservative activists to start, voicing their opinions about why Judy's books should be banned in schools, why they shouldn't be in the hands of children, teenagers even, across the country. And so Judy faced a lot of criticism from the far right and from parents. She got hundreds of letters from people complaining about her honesty and complaining about her work as pornography and filth. And at one point, she even got death threats because she was a supporter of Planned Parenthood. So the 80s turned out to be a really challenging time for her, and she decided to fight back. She went on Crossfire. She confronted Pat Buchanan. She has a great line in this 1984 clip with Pat Buchanan on Crossfire where she says, "Are you hung up about masturbation or what?" I mean, she was fierce. And then she realized, wait a second, there are a whole lot of other children's book authors who are being challenged. I want to stand up for them too. And she sort of joined forces with organizations that were fighting censorship and fighting the banning of books and standing up for the freedom to read and the freedom of speech.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you see how book banning is a really strategic political act, and it's rearing its ugly head again today. I mean, it's the same forces that were pushing back against Judy's books because they talked about sexuality and are now today pushing back against authors like Alex Gino and Jason Reynolds, who we interviewed in the film. Almost all of the books on the banned book list today, at least the very top of the list, are about race, racial justice, transgender characters, LGBTQ issues. So Jason Reynolds says it best in the film, I think, that if you want to know what we're afraid of in America today, if you want to know what issues are bubbling to the surface, look at the banned books list. And so it's incredible that there are so many authors writing for young people today with different voices and perspectives, but that scares the censors, and they're definitely going after them right now, even here in Utah. I mean, there have been a lot of challenges in Utah in the last year.
Judy Blume's book, Forever, was banned in Utah last year. That book was written in 1975. I think Judy felt that she didn't want to be pigeonholed as a children's book author. I mean, first she was criticized because children's books aren't real books. You know, in the film she says, "When are you going to write a real book, Judy?" That's what people always said to her. "When are you going to write a real book?" And she said, "I am writing real books." And still, as she got older, she realized she had a story to tell about an adult protagonist, and she wanted to tell that story. And it's about a suburban, Wifey is about a suburban housewife who decides to challenge pressures on her from society and think differently about her marriage and explore herself.